Welcome to the Entrepreneur's Playbook. And today I'm interviewing Bobby Macey from Macey Media. Bobby is one of my friends. We've done some video work together, and we're going to talk about the importance of video in a digital marketing strategy. It's my opinion that every website should have video as part of their game plan. Visitors are much more prone to watch a video that you record, even if it's long, than they are to read a novel of content on a website. So a video will capture that information. So Bobby and I talk about that. Why video, how to do video, and the things you need to be aware of when setting up video for your business. All right, welcome to today's episode. We're with a great friend of mine, Bobby Macey from Macey Media. Bobby, how's it going?
Nate, thanks for having me, brother. Good to be here.
Yes, it's great to see you. So just a little bit of history with Bobby and I. We go about a year back. I was introduced to him from a podcast friend of mine who said, oh, Bobby does amazing work. And so invited into a project. He's done a few projects for us and just state-of-the-art work. Amazing videography, amazing editing, and just prime. So thanks again for being here, Bobby.
Well, thank you. It's been fun working with you. It's always good to work with other marketers who are thinking about things in a three-dimensional way and who know storytelling. And then they see this opportunity to bring video into the puzzle, and then it just comes together beautifully. And that's exactly what we've done together. I think of the sites you build. I think of the strategy you have. And I think, dude, you're smart to be thinking about video, man, because it's hot right now.
Yeah. So tell us your journey. How did you get into video production, and what inspired you to get started?
Yeah, great question. So I was inspired to get started in video production really through content marketing. I went to college, did a degree in PR, came out of that, worked only marketing jobs, wrote maybe one or two press releases and in the first 5 years. But really, this was like early days Facebook when you could build a massive audience. I was doing a lot of social media management. I was telling a story in different ways, doing a lot of copywriting. And I was working for a publisher in Salt Lake City that if people listening are aware, it's called KSL.com. So we were publishing articles and I was working with different brands. And I got really confident in my ability to tell a story. And I realized that, okay, you've got different elements to a story. Sometimes it's best written, sometimes it's best in audio form, sometimes it's best through a photograph, right? And then at this time, this is like 2012 through 2016, video was just starting to get hot, but it was kind of out of reach for a lot of people because video on our cell phones was okay, but it wasn't great. And, during that time, you started to have podcasts kind of go off, but the learning curve to get in and get professional audio was tough. But fast forward, 2019, I had worked in the corporate world from 2012 to 2019, and I'd always been in kind of a content marketing role. And then we'd use video here, we'd use video there. But I always loved video. And I loved tinkering with it on the side. And I'd make these little videos for my social media just using my cell phone. And half the time the lighting was garbage and the audio sucked. But it was just me tinkering, but I knew how to tell a story. And all of that time, I got good practice just being on camera. So then I become self-employed in 2019. I launched Macey Media. And I was like, look, at this point, I have a good camera. I know how to tell a story. I'm an okay editor. Like, I literally can offer, kind of from a solopreneur point of view, I can offer a full-blown content marketing strategy because I have all these things that just have a checkbox next to them. So that's when I started to do it. And I realized it was easier for me to sell video than it was for me to sell copywriting or blogs or this or that. And this is also before the big AI boom, right? So people weren't using as much AI to write their blogs. But then like COVID hits, right? And I'm 8 months into my business, not even 8 months, I'm 6 months in my business, and COVID slaps us in the face, and all of a sudden I can't be with people. And I'm making my money and supporting my family as a solopreneur at this point, going around filming people, making these videos, doing all the editing myself, and I realize now I can't be with people. I got to find something, right? So I kind of went back to my roots with content marketing, strategy, copywriting, some graphic design, you name it, build the occasional website, nothing like you do, but on like a launch a Squarespace site for somebody, that sort of thing, right? And I just missed video. Occasionally, people would be like, hey, we have all this footage. We don't know what to do with. Can you create something out of it? So we'd still do the editing side. But until the world started to open up again, it was like kind of had to push pause on something that was already going great. And then the floodgates opened and it was like, let's go all in on video. I still do that other stuff. I still consider myself a content marketer with a video first strategy, but video is probably 70% of what we do at Macey Media.
That's really cool. So you talked about like the different types of content strategy. What unique value does video bring to business marketing compared to the other forms of content you're talking about?
Oh, dude, that is such a good question. So unique value, right? I think of this from look at all the algorithms on social media right now. Every one of them is favoring video. I mean, you can still go to Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter or X, and you can post a static image. You can't even do that on TikTok. If you do, you have to turn it into a video, right? And TikTok's super hot. It has changed the world. Obviously, there's a lot going on right now with what's going to happen with it, right? But you think of how short form video has changed the world. It has totally played into what we call the creators economy. It has totally empowered people who literally can grab their phone and make money through the power of story. That's one way that it has just blown up, right? Whether you have a service-based business, whether you have a product that you're selling, video, a course, you name it, video can help you move your product or your service and get sales, but also educational content. Like it just blows my mind. Then you think of how does video transform things from a traditional marketing perspective with like SEO? There is so much data out there that says the following. When you have a good video on a landing page and it is optimized for keywords, you're going to rank better. You just are. There's so much data that shows that. The other thing to think about is Google is the largest search engine. Now, last I checked, YouTube was the second largest search engine, and Google owns YouTube. So this is one of those things where people are starting to search in a different way. You used to find a video specifically, you either had to go to YouTube, or if you were in Google under kind of like your all tab, you could type in something, and in the search engine results page that we all see, it used to be all text-based. Then they introduced like a featured snippet. Then they introduced some of these other things, right? Now video is creeping into that all tab. So you don't even have to specifically select the videos tab and then go to Google search. You can just go to your regular Google search, type in a query or whatever, and it's common nowadays that a video will pop up in your feed. Like this is how powerful it's becoming. And so a lot of different ways that it can be used, but these are just two reasons, short form social and SEO driven content, of why people should really be considering video as part of their marketing strategy.
That's great. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I've heard the statistic as well that YouTube is the second biggest search engine. I've seen it firsthand. If a web page has video content, not only we could have all the text there, but people won't read the text, but they'll watch a 10-minute video. Absolutely. If it answers a question, and if it's entertaining, and if it's informative and solves their problem, but the text could be right next to it, and they won't even see the text. You know, yep. A search engine will see them both, but the video works. So amen to that. Our program, the whole point of our purpose of this podcast and this video is to talk to entrepreneurs, people that run websites, that need websites. What are some of the biggest mistakes you see entrepreneurs make when they try to do video for their website?
A lot of them are trying to go super cheap, right? And I get this. They're going on a budget. So maybe they watch a couple YouTube videos, they grab their phone, whatever. and then they throw up a video on their website and it just looks janky. So a perfect example of this would be, okay, if I am looking to have a nice homepage video on my website, turn your phone. That needs to be horizontal, not vertical. When people are watching content on YouTube and they're planning to spend more than 1 minute, that should probably be horizontal content. It's a wider frame, looks a little bit more established. You can still do it on a budget, get a little tripod, put your phone in there, different audio connections and sources where this can still turn out okay. But so many people aren't thinking about the end audience there, right? They're thinking, oh, well, yeah, anytime I log on to whatever, I'm searching this way, I'm looking this way, and it's vertical orientation. But when you're talking about website content, you're talking about making it look professional, get that horizontal video. And don't have somebody just holding the camera. Invest in a $30 tripod if it's that cheap and a little $7 attachment that'll hold your phone. Like, get something so it's a stabilized shot so that you're close enough so that you have good audio, and position yourself next to a window or get a cheap light. I mean, you could do this for under $100 all in, and you could have a much better video that's a fake it till you make it type video on a budget rather than something that's just not thought out. The other thing that I'll say that really kills video on websites is a lot of people, we see this on social media, but we see this on the web in general. They produce content just to produce content. There's no real strategy behind it. And so I tell people all the time, I'm like, okay, so really cool. You want to leverage video. What story do you have to tell? Why do you want to leverage video? And so if we think a video can really complement something that's on a web page, then yes, let's derive a strategy for that. What keywords need to be a part of that? Do we need to do a little bit of SEO research behind that? What are people searching for? Are we trying to complement what's on the web page through visuals? That's probably the biggest argument, right? Let's show them something. So these are all things that we got to think about. And I think a lot of people, Nate, unfortunately, are just a little bit lazy, and they create to create rather than create with intention.
So that segues perfectly to my next question. There's all different types of videos. There's stories, there's FAQs, there's education. What are the top 3 to 5 types of videos you recommend for an entrepreneur to have on their website?
Oh, 100% FAQs. This is just a great way to address something head on and peel back the curtain. So let's talk about this with a client that you and I worked on together, Plastic Surgery Center. You built them a beautiful website, and there is video dotting a lot of the pages on that website. You placed it perfectly. You went in with intention. You thought about this beforehand, and then you partnered with us to bring those visuals to life. And I think about that. Anytime you're asked something, when somebody finds out that you work in a certain industry, I always think about this. What are the first questions that they ask you? Oh, tell me about that. Well, tell me about that. Well, tell me about that. I take a mental note of those questions, and those are my personal FAQs. So when somebody finds out that I do video, what questions did they ask me? Okay, cool, noted. And then I think of variations of what those questions come to me as, and then I speak to those. And if I can speak to those are my FAQs, right? Really simple, but it builds trust. Because when you can see somebody and you can hear them and you hear their intonation, and they're not just using grammatical things like punctuation or all caps or whatever, like, you hear it, you see it, you feel it. There's more connection there. You're engaging more senses. That's why video is so powerful, right? I think one other thing you can do specifically on a website that will really help is, aside from FAQs, have a general explainer video right on your homepage, and have it be visible that tells your story, whether you have a product or whether you have a service-based business. So for me, That is right there, smack dab on the front of my website above the fold. Why? Because I want people to connect with me immediately. I know that there are a lot of companies out there that provide professional video services. Well, if they can connect with me and they jive with my personality and I'm the founder and I'm right there on the homepage, that's going to do more for them than them going and reading about video on 50 other websites, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are two videos. FAQ videos, huge. General explainer video, also huge.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Those are perfect. It reminds me of a doctor. Before I met you, I did some work with an eye doctor, and we just did, the low budget iPhone, but we asked questions like how to keep your glasses from sliding down your nose, or what to expect in a kid's eye doctor visit. And then he was at a grocery store down in Mona, where he's from. And someone walked by and some kid walked by and said, "Hey, you're that famous eye doctor on YouTube."
Oh, I love that.
And his patients already feel like they know him even before they get to his office, because he's done these simple videos that explain common questions that people have. So FAQs, explainer videos, introduction videos. So he broke the ice already. So that's perfect. So entrepreneurs, take note of that it's not hard, but think about it a little bit before you just start shooting.
Well, 100%. And I'll add to that because you think like this, but not everybody thinks like this. You think of the general outline of a website, and you're building a website for somebody, and you're like, okay, well, obviously the homepage is going to be really important. That's where a lot of the traffic is going to go. We might even run ads there, yada, yada, yada. But then you're like, okay, take a plastic surgery center, for example. Well, they're probably going to have a page that's all about customer testimonials. They're probably going to have an About Us page. They're probably going to have different pages that talk about the different services, whether it's, you know, um, uh, trimming in a certain area or adding to another area, right? They've got different services that they offer, and from an SEO standpoint and just from a logistical standpoint and a topical standpoint, you're probably going to have an individual page for each of those things with a unique URL. Now you can take this a step further and you can say, does it make sense for me to have video on any of these pages? So once again, just using plastic surgery as an example. Okay, if there's a page that's all about, breast augmentation, which is a common thing in plastic surgery, well, does it make sense for us to have a video on that page that dives into the ins and the outs? And it doesn't need to be a graphic video that shows examples before and after, but perhaps it's the doctor talking about the procedure, what to expect, what does recovery look like? Why would somebody do this outside of, I think there's this stigma that it's like, oh, you got to be pretty vain if you're going to go down that path, right? I've learned a lot from the doctors that you and I worked with about how this is blessing lives in a lot of different ways and giving people confidence. And it's not just a sexual thing, but it's blessing lives in other ways, or sometimes reducing pain from different things, right? And it just opened my eyes, and hearing a doctor talk about it was just like breaking down all these barriers for me that I was like, whoa. But if you put all of that on your webpage, man, you are going to have a skyscraper of an article there or information page, right? But a video can do that in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a perfect example. People will watch the video to get quick answers to their questions, but they'll never read all that content. A search engine might, but a visitor won't. Well, I can tell already. I mean, this is so fun. We could talk for hours about this. So let's make this a part one of a multi-part segment.
I would love that, man.
So the last question I have for you today, Bobby, how can people connect with you? I mean, what does an entrepreneur need to do to get started with video?
Well, I'll answer the last part first. What do you need to get started with video? Literally, go to ChatGPT, type in a prompt that is specific to your business, and I need ideas for short form video content regarding X topic. Or I want to post to social media 2 times a week with video, and I'll film myself. Give me topic ideas for X industry, right? That's a really quick way to start leveraging video. The second thing you need to think about that ties into that is this idea of getting comfortable on camera. Some people are comfortable on camera. They can grab their phone and they can just record, right? Other people, that freaks them out. If you are the entrepreneur and you are the business, you're probably going to have to go on camera. You're going to have to swallow that pill and do it. But the more you do it, the less scary it becomes, right? Second, where can people connect with me? You can obviously visit maceymedia.com. That's MACEY media.com. And you can see the work that we've done. Or BOBBYMACEY. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Instagram. I'm on most of the social media platforms. LinkedIn is a great way to connect with me. And I'm a pretty friendly guy. So I'll probably accept your invitation, especially if you drop me kind of like a personalized note. Hey, I saw you on Nate's podcast, whatever. Let's chat. I'm an open book. Let's talk video. Let's talk marketing. Let's talk food. I don't care.
All right. Well, Bobby, thank you so much for being here today. Everybody, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Ask Bobby a question right in the chat. If you want to get to know Bobby more, make sure you go to maceymedia.com. And if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel. I'm Nate from WEB801, where we turn boring brochure websites into sales machines. Talk to you again.